Yes, sir. We're looking forward to it.
Pleasure is mine, brother.
Praise be to Allah. Okay. Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have a legendary guest with us tonight who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration. And that is none other than the Wing Chun Master himself, Brother Shaheed Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Yes, sir. This is a great honor, a distinct honor of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast to have you come back for part two to discuss some amazing topics today. Your sister, Florence Griffin, the late great, your tea, your movie, and your exercising for the our senior brothers and sisters. We're excited about that as well. Well, the first question that we have for you, sir, is what book are you working on with about your sister? What book are you working on?
It's a book that deals with some personal aspect of my sister, the late great Flo Jo, Florence Griffith Joyner. We call her Dee Dee because her middle name was Dolores. And the book speaks about some interactions we had, how she was as a youth, how she was exceptionally competitive as a student when I taught her the martial arts, when we were younger in Watts, when she was 11. It was 11 of us all together, and I was the oldest. She was 10 years younger than I am. And when it would stop raining there in Watts on 85th Street, South Central, we would go out in the streets, take our shoes off, and we would race the whole block. And of course, I was always winning, and I was telling her, "Girl, you never outbeat me as long as you live." But and the book speaks about what I saw in her. It was like, "I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you." She was always competitive, like, "Hey, I'm gonna get you one day." But as a man, we're chauvinistic, thinking, "Oh, no woman can ever, no matter how old she is, can ever beat me." Well, the book speaks about the powers and never underestimating a woman and how she was very eclectic in everything she did. The book tells about how she used to ride a unicycle to school with her pet boa constrictor, Brandy, around the neck, and a unicycle, that is, which is hard for me to do. Um, and it speaks about how times that we were, oh, by the way, when we were racing the streets out of Lebanon, I said before, she never would win. But however, later on in 1989, the book shows pictures of her and I racing in the Tokyo Dome. I have video footage of us taking our shoes off and reminiscing those days of racing. And of course, you know who won. So and she dusted me, my brother. And so also I had some footage of her and I sparring martial arts in the Tokyo Dome. She was very good in sparring in the martial arts. And the book shows some pictures of that. So it highlights a lot of things a lot of people don't know how she was so special. Matter of fact, in Japan, when I was there with her, the people looked at her in high praise and honor. They said she was the next Cleopatra, and they saw the beauty and the strength of her. So she was very special to me and to all of us, even today. And the book speaks about, I did a presentation at Black History Month last year at a YMCA where I was teaching the youth last year, and I was focused on bringing her to attention. And many of these youth, out of about 30 of them, none of them knew who she was. So it's incumbent upon me at that time to bring this book to fruition so that people can see out of what, out of a low income area of Los Angeles, she excelled. So it doesn't matter where you come from. It's that inner belief that she portrayed. And I also have a statement in the book that if she had opened up a charm school, she would have a waiting list 20 years out. My mother always taught us, taught the girls, that is, always be a lady. you know, and she was always exactly that, no matter what. And however, she had a little, I would say, passive aggressive. She was never had an enemy. I never known her to be had someone that she didn't like because she always felt she had a very serious God spirit in her. She always said that, okay, well, God will deal with that. I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to let it deter me. So that motivated her. Um, she had a self motivation. You know, she always excelled in everything she did. So, and there's a many, many more points in the book that I stress. Even one particular point was that when the American track team and many of the athletes were hosed or housed rather at this multi-billionaire resort outside of Chiba City, Japan. And one evening, as they were having dinner, she was always ostracized and isolated from the American team. There was a lot of cliquage going on, a lot of jealous and envy. So one of the waiters overheard some of the athletes, our American sisters and brothers, um, just degrading just degrading her name and trying to just mud her to death. So he went back and told the owner, whose name was Mr. Kawato, and Mr. Kawato took her under his arm, and he took her into a room, office that he had, and there was three monkey heads up on the wall, and he had a little special ceremonies where he clapped three times and at each one, and he just embraced her. Now, when I was over there with her, he reiterated that ceremonies. However, because he did three heads and three claps, doesn't mean that's why she um, won three gold medals. No, not at all. But it was very significant. And yes, sir. But while we were there, I taught her they had a golf tournament that was in 1989 after the '88 Olympics, and Mr. Kawato had a golf tournament in her name, and I was able to teach her golf, tennis. These are things that she, even at that point, she challenged and overcame and learned it very well. She was a quick learner. There's one thing I mentioned in the book that we used to do. We used to go, we would run 5 miles in the morning, 5 miles in the evening. I mean, by being her bodyguard and her brother, that was a twofold uh, work order that I had to see that because I loved her so much. But everybody was wanted to reach out to touch her. They felt that inner strength, and I always saw a glow around her. Um, but one of the things that I'm trying to miss a certain point that we uh, did in Japan. Well, there was many things that it'll come back to me. But the point is that she was very eclectic and believed in herself. And she always told children that to believe in yourself and to overcome your weaknesses and seek your goals and your dreams. She highlighted that to the max, and she lived it. Yes, sir.
Beautiful, yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Okay, so speaking of, I mean, your sisters, a lot of she was beautiful. So I'm assuming that people would want to date her. And how did you handle men trying to approach her? You being the bodyguard and her brother, how did you handle that?
Well, she was married at that time.
Mm, mm, mm,
Yes, she
mm,
was married to Jackie Joyner's husband. I mean,
mm,
Jackie Joyner's brother. I'm sorry, whose name
mm,
was Al Joyner. Uh-huh.
mm,
Um, and in the book, it goes into details, some things that I'd rather not say right now. But uh, there was something that concerns on her passing, very serious concerns that I'm dealing with in various aspects. Even in my book, you have to get the book to see why these concerns are so high. They're very high concerns, extremely, on her passing and what caused her to pass. She was drug free. She was tested spontaneously hundreds of times. So there was no chemicals, artificial chemicals in the body. I want to clear that up because a
mm.
lot of people in different countries I visited would say, oh, yeah, she was on the steroids. No, every test was proven to be negative. And that's a
Mm,
fact.
mm. Okay, great. Yes, sir. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, yes, sir. Now, my next thing I want to talk about is your book. I mean your movie. You have a movie that's coming up. Can you let us know about it, sir?
Oh, yes, sir. We'll be signing a major contract, which we already have a producer with a major book production company, movie producing company. Um, and he's waiting on the script to be completed. However, it's in conjunction with a great actor and a movie producer from Sierra Leone, whose name is Don Tiger. He's done various movies, and someone introduced me to him about maybe 5 years ago. And we would talk on the phone and FaceTime almost on a daily basis. So one day we was talking a couple of years ago, and I said, well, how's your mom and dad? He said they both passed. So I said, well, I'll be your surrogate father. Oh man, he was so elated. He went all over the villages and telling everybody he has a father, and because all of his friends had their parents. Now, mind you, he's 40 years old, 38 to be exact, and a very vibrant, powerful little brother. Like I said, he is idol, and he's a martial artist, by the way. And his idol was Jim Kelly. He had the Jim Kelly Pro, and he had the physique. He's very good. He's done several movies in the martial arts there. So we were talking, and he said, "Dad," I said, "Yeah." He said, "Let's do a movie together." And I said, "Okay." So he started writing the script, and I was giving him feedback on it, communicating each day. Matter of fact, the title of the movie is called "The Legend of the Cradle."
Mm,
That's
mm.
the title. And to give you a couple of excerpts about it, input. Um, hmm, I don't want to put it all out there, but it is a very interesting book where it brings many brothers from the East in Africa to relate to the brother. We need some connection there from Africa and American from the diaspora. So
Yes,
that
sir.
movie actually galvanized that energy and is on the verge. I was told by the producer, he said he's more excited about this project than anyone he's ever worked on, and he's done
Mm,
many. He
mm,
said we're going to make this as big as the Black Panther movie.
mm.
So it has a lot of merits in it. And I'm known in the movie as Master Shaheed, and his name, Don Tiger's name is Ekinga. So it is something to really look forward to. Um, I can't say when we're going to production. The script writer was supposed to have completed it by now. And the reason why it was done, Don wrote it in a different format. And when the producer got it here, the American format has to be arranged a little bit different. So we put it into a very acclaimed script writer. And nevertheless, he and I had a meeting yesterday, and I had to put a little, uh, ask him to speed it up a little bit because he
Yes, sir.
got it back in September and or October rather, and it was thought maybe we'd finish it by December. So he did give me a verification yesterday that he will finish it by the end of this month. So then we'll go from there. Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We look forward to the to seeing the movie and supporting you in every way we can. Sister Consuela says Assalamu alaikum. My sister Miriam says peace family. Captain Deshane says praise be to Allah, Master Shaheed. Boom, holding it down. And we can't wait to put this on YouTube. Thank everyone who likes, shares, and subscribe to the People Podcast. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
And
Now
go ahead.
I'm not listening to you, sir. Go.
I just want to give everybody else the greetings of Walaikum Salam and thank you for listening and tuning in. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Wonderful. Yes, sir. My next question for you, sir, is um the picture that you sent me our last interview, which is on the People's Podcast as well, of you with the Most High Min's Farrakhan in the early days. So many people have shared that on Facebook, on Instagram, and what was it like for you being around that during that time period?
Oh my goodness, brother. I feel that energy every day being around that light, that wisdom, that man of God. Um, I mean, I can't say no more how powerful we are truly blessed to have this man in our midst. You know, I mean, to be right there with him, to secure him at that time when hardly there was anyone out securing him. Matter of fact, at one point, when someone threw a rock through his window, and it almost hit his granddaughter. And I was living in North Carolina at the time, and we were talking on the phone on a daily basis before he even brought the nation back. And I said, brother, I'm coming to Chicago. I'm going to stand post on your block if I have to. He told me to stand down, brother. Stand down. I deal with it. He dealt with it, but I was ready to go because I knew and know and will always know that this man is a man of divinity, of God. And I was willing to give my life and always will in these services to see to it that he is continually among us in a way before and after. We have to keep that man always in our prayers, in our heart, and use that as our motivation, our platform of where we are today. Listen to him. We must listen to him. Read, study. Yes, sir. So again, to answer your question, he's in my heart, brother, every day. His spirit, the drive. Say no more, brother.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now I've seen you after the first interview. You sent me videos of some of your exercise videos and your training videos for the youth. Can you let us know what you're working on for the older brothers and sisters?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I just did exercise program today with the youth. I'm still teaching every day. That keeps me going. The youth, of course. However, last year at the Nations Training Program, the ministers told Brother Aziz, mentioned to Brother Aziz, to say, hey, he said, a lot of us are not going to be able to flip and hit the floor and bounce back up like the younger bones. He said, we need something for the seniors. So I approached immediately Brother Aziz and told him that, yes, I wanted to work with him on fulfilling that request. And because the fact that I've been blessed to have been trained with a lot of spots and points to immobilize a person. If you're hitting at the right spot, and the right time and the right angle, you could immobilize a person without a lot of excess energy. Also, techniques in how to use a cane or umbrella or a broom handle or something of such that's at hand, properly used and taught and trained, could definitely immobilize a person. And check hitting again at the right spots and angle. We have 365 spots on the body that a person can be temporarily paralyzed or could be injured rather. And there are 72 spots on the person's body that can be paralyzed, and 32 spots, 36 spots. One can be permanently paralyzed, and 24 spots on the body where a person can be hit and it could be fatal. So I've been blessed in understanding the anatomy and the vital spots and points on the body that can really affect a person's mobility. And this is something that seniors need to be aware, to train on. But before that, I'm also working with him now on a podcast, which he and I talked about a few weeks ago, in developing a stretching routine. And that's very important before anybody get into any martial arts or training program. Stretching. Now, why did I say stretching? Number one, every animal in creation that I've owned, my horses, cats, birds, dogs, stretch in the morning. Even my fish wag their tail in the morning, shake up after they come out of their little house there. So that's something that we as humans don't do. And we need to understand how important that is. We have 96 trillion cells in our body. Okay. We have 46 billion brain cells. Now, in beginning, we always start, and I do this every morning. It starts my day off. I take a deep breathing, okay, up to the upper chamber, exhale the fire, bring in the water. I do that several times, and I push out, inside, dip the water, breathe in, and exhale. That brings in oxygen and releases the carbon monoxide poison that's in our lungs that hasn't escaped overnight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then I do a stretching, a head rotation, Okay, and what that drill does, it releases the occipital nerve, right, at the base of the skull, which also releases a certain amount of energy from the spine to the medulla oblongata, the base of the brain. And you do that both ways, okay? And then we do a shoulder roll. I do this every morning. Shoulder roll forward, and then I do it backwards or forward and backwards. And I feel a release of energy just now. And then I do what we call grab the fish or the monkey by the tail, and I pull this here from the latissimus dorsi muscles and the trapezius muscles, and I release this here. And then I turn my leg here, and I do the opposites. I'm just only taking a breath and doing the other side, and I do that there. And there's a few more that we can do sitting down. You don't have to be, you got to get up into the room and, oh, I got 20, 30 minutes of exercise. No, do it sitting, watching TV in the morning. You can do it, some of them you can do it before you get out of bed. And we're putting this together because it's so important to release certain energies that cause many places in our body, people house stress. Could be in the head, the chest, the back, the shoulders, the legs, the upper thigh, and the legs. So I try to complete a full routine drill to release and unlock those channels. And that gives you a burst of energy, and it also brings you to a spiritual awareness, as the Quran speaks about a physical and spiritual relationship.
Yes,
So
sir.
we have to have that physical relationship and not just be totally spiritual, which is important, but there's signs in creation, which we must emulate, study.
Yes, sir.
Every
Yes, sir.
animal, every animal moves and does a routine stretch in the morning. One that we do shoulders back and keeping your back straight. There's another one called the rainbow. We go over to this side,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the rainbow to that side, and we do that repetitiously now. To say that it's very important that we stretch properly. Back in the older days, they were called ballistic stretch, which causes the muscles to become spastic when you're doing this here. You know, those old-fashioned days we did that, but kinesiologists and sports medicine doctors who see to it that these multi-billion-dollar athletes are not injured because on computers they're seeing that it can cause injuries if you're doing stretching wrong. So I keep up with the current trends of the proper means of
Yes, sir.
stretching.
Yes, sir.
And the proper stretching, this is called static stretch, where you hold it for 10 to
Yes, sir.
15 seconds instead
Okay.
of bouncing, because that causes your muscles to become spastic. You can get cramps,
Yes,
charley
sir.
horse in the legs,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
you wonder why, you know. So we are trying to bring this to the table, how important it is, even when you're older, you know, joints get locked in because you don't get them to moving, and you wonder why people getting stiff walking with walkers and canes, because right now I can kick 6 feet up to the ceiling, you know, to the door jamb. I can do a split, and I'm 72 years of age, and I'm just beginning. I'm just beginning, and this is what keeps me going. So I must emphasize how important it is that everybody do some stretching in the morning.
Yes,
It's
sir.
no
Yes, sir.
excuse. It's no excuse. We have to be adamant about our body, adamant about our spirit, what we bring to the table, to presentation to people. You know, when they see us as Muslims walking vibrantly with agility and little pep in our step, little glide in our stride, they say, oh, what do you get? What are you doing? What are you? Of course, dieting is so important as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All of that with the messenger's teaching. Oh, by the way, speaking of dieting, that was one of the key things that I emphasized to my sister, Flo Jo. How are you going to compete with the world eating pork? So I took her off of pork, and she got off of pork, and that's something that she thanked me for. Is getting her off of that animal that's going to decrease her brain, her body functions, her rhythm, her speed. And yes, sir, that was very important. I said, listen to the messenger's teachings in regards to the diet. So that itself is evidence how important it is to watch our diet. Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. And thank you very much, Master Shaheed. So many people saying all praises to Allah. Mrs. Naima says, peace, family. Mrs. Miriam says, praise be to Allah. But Brother Master Shaheed, we have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast. And we're coming right back to you, sir, because we have a few more questions for you. And
Sure.
so many people are sending you love and showing you love in the comments. Thank you all very much. If you all like to be a sponsor or donor of the People's Podcast, we're thankful for every like, share, and subscription. Please cash out the People's Podcast. My brother Rashad, Street Premier Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of that. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me children's book and coloring book. Please reach out to her if you need any of those, both of which are available on Amazon. ABC I Love Me. My sister Naima, Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country and right here in the studio in Atlanta, Georgia. We love our tiny dancers. Raw Communications, if you're working on a book and you need copy editing, project management, content development, or media relations, please reach out to Raw Communications. Fashion Gods, Urban Streetwear, please reach out if you want to keep your good clothes fresh and drip. 314-329-6009. Brother Kenneth, bow tie maker extraordinaire. He'll ship bow ties to you anywhere in the country. Dr. King Henry's Turkey Legs right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 disinfecting cleaning services out of Chicago. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse, both of which are available on Amazon. Right back to the Wing Chun Master himself, Master Shaheed Muhammad. Okay, boom. So my next question for you, sir, is you were in the around during the time of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What was that like as a martial artist? What was that like?
Wow. Well, I was respected as a martial artist always. That's my life. I've been into it now for 63, going to 64 years. And it's my life, and I was able to train and work with the brothers. And the martial arts is not all just about fighting. It's the most important thing is about being disciplined, respectful to one another. Um, um, and that's something that goes hand in hand with the teaching of the FOI, the nation, or Islam generally, is being respectful to one another. It's been mostly misunderstood, the martial arts. When I used to go and offer classes to schools to work with the different gangs and programs in different cities, oh no, you're gonna make them fight more. So, but with the teaching of Islam, under the guise of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Louis Farrakhan, it teaches us the humility, to humble yourself, respect other people. I've gone in some of the worst parts of cities, you name the major cities where no one else would go. But I humbled myself and showed respect, and I was able to survive and to work. Matter of fact, there was and it still exists, it's called the Mafundi Culture Institute in Watts. It's right across the street from my sister's namesake school. They named it after her, the Florence Elementary School, 102nd and Wilmington. And the Mafundi Institute was actually, the word Mafundi means craftsman. It was developed by Malana Karinga and at that time they were Leroy Jones. Imam Mobile Baraka was his name. His son, matter of fact, is the mayor, I understand, of Newark, New Jersey.
Okay, yes, sir.
Anyway, he was a cultural icon, him and, of course, Malana. They founded this institute. And it was the only building built after the Watts riot. There's a $300,000 facility. Now, at that facility, we housed drama, filmmaking, music. The Silvers came out of there, Eartha Kitt, Raymond St. John, Sister Tyson, many actresses developed and actually came to the center, donated their time. But at that time, there was a law in that center, and there were gangs just how it stayed there. And there was several gang leaders who posted up there every day. And the leaders of the bishops, the Pyrus, the bounty hunters, Crips, it was right there. And they would come there, but they had no guidance. So God blessed me because nobody in the city will go down that cell. Man, gangs took over that center. Well, I was asked by Dr. J.A. Cannon, who was the chief psychiatrist at Dr. King Hospital at that time. I was able to meet him. He asked me, would I go in to help straighten that facility out. So I did. And I was able to go in. And at that time, Bruce Lee was very popular. I had the chance of meeting Bruce Lee again. I met him first in 1968.
Mm,
However, understand that at that time, the messenger asked Bruce Lee, and this could be rumor, it could be factual. I'm not sure, but I think it's a fact. I heard it from various reputable sources that the messenger had sent message with Bruce Lee. He offered him $1 million to train the FOI,
mm,
and
mm,
and and I don't think he turned it down. But he left to go away because the political uh, things was going on in the movie industry against him. He never came back, but I think he would have accepted that. He loved Muhammad Ali, and I had a chance to meet him first in Washington, D.C., the Carter Burn Theater in 1968, and
mm,
again
mm,
in 1972 before he left to go to China. But again, the martial arts at that time with Islam was able to bring those brothers to galvanize them. We did demonstrations together. I showed them the discipline. We used to go to the mountains. They had never been outside of Washington of them. We went to the mountains and over camped up in the Big Bear Mountains. We would go to the beach and run all along the beach shore. Matter of fact, we did a nature walk from Los Angeles to San Diego and spent overnight on the beach and got up and made it on it to San Diego. So I taught those brothers a lot of survival skills, a lot of respect. Many of them now today have gone on to professional avenues, music and other avenues, and they many times they're calling me and thanking me for helping them. So
mm,
Islam, as well as the martial arts, were able to give those brothers some tools, some foundation. And the martial arts is just an art. It's just a medium where people can reach other avenues in their God gifted talent to pursue and to overcome their weaknesses. One of the things we say in our pledge is that I pledge to always strengthen my body, mind, and spirit to overcome my weaknesses. So we all have weaknesses if we identify. So that is basically, hopefully, answer your question. And again, how I came into Islam at that time in 1970. I was at the school in University of Ife in Nigeria for a year, and that's when I developed my style called the baboon or the order obo, studying the baboons over there. There's a style that I developed called the baboon, and we can talk about that later. But um, every animal, okay, diverting to this point, every animal has some form of defense in another book that I do. And it speaks about the various different animals and how God blessed them with means of defense, um, and even the butterfly. Now, the styles that I teach is Walloon Kung, Walloon Wing Chun. Walloon is a style that I studied under Grandmaster Ark Wei Wong, who won the award in America for the best teacher back
mm,
then.
mm, mm,
And,
mm,
he was in Chinatown. He was the only one that was teaching non traditional Chinese people, and they didn't like that in Chinatown, Los Angeles. But he taught many of us. Matter of fact, he even taught Brother Steve Muhammad um, martial arts, kung fu. So I have developed that style because the animal styles, which I developed called the butterfly, where your wings are moving, you're blocking and striking with your wings out. And then you have the elephant where you clasp your hand and you become the elephant. And you have the cobra, which you're on the floor fighting, using your fangs, biting to various nerves and tendons. Um, then you have the bull here, striking, upward, gorging, striking. So you have animals that I teach, and I taught the brothers these as well. And again, we would demonstrate all over LA, and people gave high respects and honors to these brothers because they had something to give their to identify with, and the martial arts were very popular at that time. Matter of fact, we would go to the movie theater when Bruce Lee movies were out, and we had a 15-passenger van, and we were loaded up with about 20, 25 minimum sleep on go on top of the van, or on the hood, or under the van even, and look at the man. Bruce was an icon. A lot of people think Bruce was a joke. They think, oh, he wasn't real. He never did any real fights. Well, martial arts is not all about fighting. because, as you know, your number one enemy is yourself. Now, he was a technician, he was a scientist in the martial arts. And he gave me a lot. He was my hero to a great extent. Even his philosophy was very beautiful, and related to Islam a lot. A universal uh, uh, teacher that he was, and he respected many different styles. And never think that one style is better than the other. When you think that, you centralize yourself in a tunnel vision, you've lost. You know, you can take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and become proficient because it's an art. Nobody tell you draw this picture and then you become a professor. No, you put your own creative motif into whatever you're about, you know, even tea. And my other point that I want to talk about is the ginger tea that I'm making. It's called Ninja Ginger.
Mm-hmm.
I was down in Atlanta a few weeks ago, and Brother Akbar bought a case from me. He loved it. Uh, Brother Wahid loved it. And many of the brothers down in Atlanta. I'm going to be sending some more, bringing some more down. I'd like to bring you some.
Yes, sir.
In
It'll be
that,
an honor to meet you, sir, and to try your tea. Yes, sir.
yes, sir, brother. The tea and ingredients are ginger. And I can't tell everybody how I make it, but I can give you the ingredients
Yes,
as
sir.
all natural roots, okay? Ginger, turmeric, mint, um, ginseng, Siberian ginseng, and mineral water.
Mm,
Okay. And
mm,
it's a timing process where you put one element in at a certain time, during and before it is all completed. And let me tell you, man, it's going off the shelf. As soon as I can make it, people already have orders in. Matter of fact, I went to a place today and completed an order of 10 of the bottles. There's 16 bottles, 16-ounce bottles, and I also sell them by the gallon. So it is moving pretty fast. And I like to say that also it's an immune builder.
mm,
Okay.
mm.
So it is very tasteful and the so you will try, brother. If anybody would like to get some, we haven't set up our communication yet, but I can give you my phone number if you like. Um, for those who are listening, would like to get some who are local here, the number, if it's okay, I can give it.
Of course.
Okay, my number is 252-432-0635. I guarantee if you try it, you're going to like it and you're going to want some more. It's called Ninja Ginger. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Wonderful. Yes, sir. Now, is that the same number that people should call if they want to get your martial arts stretching, and also for the youth with the martial arts as well? Should they reach out to you?
My DVDs, yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir. They can get that as well. And let me give that again. It's 252-432-0635, or I can be reached by my email, which is Kung Fu Size, KUNGFUCISE @yahoo.com.
Mm, mm. Okay, great. Yes, sir. Wonderful. And someone's in the comments saying they're going to reach out to you, so that's a great thing as well. And what does a martial artist like yourself do for fun outside of martial arts?
Man, listen to you, brother. I'm so involved with teaching. I like teaching. You
Mm,
know, I see kids on the street. I give them motivational information. You know, I see them depressed. I'm also a counselor. I've been a counselor professionally for years in my studies at university, and I've ran group homes. So I'm a motivator. I for exercise, I take my bike and I ride 10 miles a day, these 3 days a week when the weather permissible. Um, I love exercising, keeping in shape. Matter of fact, in the last year, I've become a little less than a year. I've become a vegetarian. I've gotten
mm,
off of meat, and I feel a lot energetic.
mm,
Uh,
mm,
feel better, a lot better, because I had gained a little bit of weight because of the COVID situation and being locked in. So I said, well, let me back up on something. I'm not bringing that many calories, but I'm getting my protein through other measures, other means. But watching our diet is something that I like doing, and motivating people. That's what I do. You know, um, for exercise and having fun. With COVID in, we're not mingling. We're staying shelter in place. I'm part-time work at a college here as a security police officer. So I do that kind of work, and still, even doing that, when I see the youth, I motivate them to continue their goals, their dreams, and their ambitions to stay focused. There's so many distractions out there today for our youth. Men on the home feel that nobody loves them, care for them. So that's what I do. That makes my day.
Wonderful. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And some people are showing you love, and I can't wait to put this on YouTube. Will you ever write a book about not just about your sister Florence Griffith Joyner, but a book about your personal life?
Oh yes, I have that book already completed,
Mm,
and I was down there speaking with uh, not a producer, but not an editor because I already had an editor. But I'm looking at getting it already on the market. Matter of fact, I'm looking at various avenues. It's called "The Birthing of a Warrior."
mm.
Birthing of a Warrior, and it gives a whole background of my life from the beginning on to where we are now. Very pictorial, as well as my other book with Flo Jo, very pictorial of many of the circumstances and pictures that I'm the only one that has pictures of certain these events with the minister, even with my sister. At one point, my hobby was a photographer.
Mm.
I used to take photographs at one point, pictures of different locations and things. I had a photographer once who worked for the movie industry back in the days, name was Jay Powell, who told me that you can take the same picture as someone that's take, but if you take the different angle of it, you get a whole different perspective. So I even went and developed a word that you're not going to find. And I developed a word called angleization.
Mm, mm, mm,
Angleization. So getting, and that's also in regards to martial arts. When you attack from a different angle and not always straight on. You have to learn how to move to a angle called the superior angle. Okay, and moving to that angle and quickly called the Dumont, where you thrust off to that angle and using the left side and a punch or pec side or whatever position of the hands that are in. So angles can set up a whole different scenario when it comes to taking a picture, defensive, or any aspect of our lives. So that's a word. If you find that word just hit me one day. Angleization, the process of getting the proper angles. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I have one more question for you, sir. What would you
sure.
like? What would you like your legacy to be?
My legacy is to be, wow, just to be known as a loving brother
Mm,
to everyone, to everything, and one that helps those who are in need of help, to not look down upon anybody or anything, but to look at us all equal and to help motivate. I'm a motivator. I try to stimulate and agitate one to find themselves. I think that I know what my purpose is in life. God has blessed me to travel around the world 2 or 3 times, to go into places and to go to different places where people will be off the track, off the beat. I would go to places people you should go there, but I would go because I want to look at the different angles of that position of those people in those particular locations, and it was educational. So my thing, legacy, is to share, to educate, motivate, and to share those with those who are less. That's all I can say. And I ask God to fulfill me, to give me things that are worthwhile in my prayers every day, to help me become a better brother, better son, better teacher, better leader, better example, better friend. I say that every day in my prayer. And to be steadfast in doing just those things, not just saying them, but to live them and to do them. So my legacy is just to stay steadfast and humble, brother, all the time.
beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. So many people showing you love on Facebook. I can't wait to put this on YouTube. Um, we look forward to your movie and inshallah everything else that you're coming out with, from the tea to the book about your sister, as well as your exercise videos for all of the seasoned brothers and sisters around the country. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Thank you again, Master Shaheed Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam, sir, and everybody.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.